We're here.
Hello. Long time no see.
A whole 2 weeks.
I know. Well,
And
how's
we're
your
back.
week been? How's it going?
Going good. Busy. Busy is good. It's that season.
Oh
So,
yeah.
you know how it goes.
Oh yeah. Have you had any clinicians? Like what are some of the top locations for your week this week? What's everyone
Um,
asking about?
I guess it was last week now. I have a pair that I love dearly, a husband and wife, an ultrasound tech, and an SLP.
Oh
And I
fun.
got them and their baby. They'll be heading to Hawaii. So that's
Oh,
really exciting.
now that's a time to remember. Dang, that is
Exactly.
very cool.
That's the best part of this job for me, getting people where they want to go. And now the baby's
Yeah.
gonna have cool experiences growing up with traveling parents too. So that's always super
No
fun.
kidding. I know, no kidding. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I know we're just getting started, but as everyone joins, if you guys want to post, comment below where you're joining from, and then maybe if there's a specific discipline that you're looking for, or maybe a location you want to go to, because I'm starting to rethink my choices and think I also need to go to Hawaii. Uh,
I have
but
that FOMO every time I book a contract. I'm like, oh, you're going where? Can I come? I'm
no,
go.
I know you really will have to tell them to send some good pictures because they'll have plenty. Maybe
Absolutely.
even a future traveler, a little baby growing up in Hawaii said, "All right, well, time to travel."
Exactly.
All right, should we kick things off?
I'm ready if you are.
Okay, let's do it. Sierra's going to be going over some of our medical jobs, and then we'll pass it on over to me for some schools jobs.
For sure. So you guys know me, I've been here, but obviously I've been at AMN for going on 4 years. Love what I do. I primarily work imaging, radiology is kind of I don't want to say my favorite because I love all of you, but it is one of my specialties. And then of course physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech language pathology. Love work with everybody. So happy to help out there on the medical front. But I'll jump into the medical jobs we have first. The first one I have for us is going to be a physical therapist position. It is an outpatient setting in Massachusetts. When I first read this, I thought it was Action, Massachusetts, and I was gonna make a funny pun and be like, "It's time to take action and go to Action,
Hey,
Massachusetts." But then
that's still pretty good.
I realized it's Acton, Massachusetts. So
Close.
close call. Um, it is definitely Massachusettsy. It is New England. Picturesque streets and historic homes and cafes. Definitely out of the hustle and bustle of the normal Massachusetts kind of vibe that you would think. It's going to be a little more laid back, which is super cool. So definitely one to check out. Outside stuff to do too: hiking, biking, kayaking, all that fun stuff. So that is job number one. Our second job is another physical therapist position. It is also an outpatient setting. We actually talked about this area on our last live as well, but Henderson, Nevada, um, not Nevada. For anybody that is from Nevada, I know it's not Nevada. I think we talked about that before too, but
I was gonna say,
Henderson is a
actually,
cool
now I'm second guessing how I say it.
Nevada.
Nevada.
Um,
Okay.
there you go. But Henderson is a cool spot. It's not too far from the actual strip of Las Vegas, so definitely something to look at there. If you want to hit the strip, you can, but it is somewhat removed in the suburbs a bit, so you can also completely avoid that area of Las Vegas if you prefer. Um, the next one we have is going to be a cardiovascular non-invasive technologist, otherwise known as an echo ultrasound tech. This is in Panorama City, California. This is similar to kind of what we were just talking about with Vegas, but you can get to Los Angeles pretty easily. but you're still going to be in kind of a removed area, which is pretty cool. Um, don't even get me started on the food in Los Angeles. If you want good food,
Mm-hmm.
go. Trust me. Thank me later. Okay,
Wait, what's
cool.
your go-to?
Uh, there's nothing better than the tacos, honestly. So there's just the tacos on the West Coast are just so
Yeah.
good. So if you want like real good tacos, also Los Angeles kind of has a thing for putting guacamole on tacos,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so good. So highly recommend checking that out if you are a foodie such as myself. But of course you're near Los Angeles, so plenty of shopping. You know, you're not going to be in the boonies of nowhere land. You will have plenty of opportunity to get what you need there.
Oh yeah.
And then the fourth position we have is a respiratory therapist position, a registered respiratory therapist position. This is in Reading, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, I actually have a ton of travelers in the Pennsylvania area. So definitely a place that is a really cool spot to go that honestly a lot of people who never really thought about Pennsylvania have gone and really fallen in love with it. So definitely one to look out here too. Similar thing, you know, you're going to be somewhat removed from the hustle and bustle of it all, but you can still get to the hustle and bustle of it all if you want to. Tons of outdoor activities there as well. Theaters, museums, music festivals, all the fun things there. So that's definitely a really good one to look at. And then the last one I have is also a registered respiratory therapist position open in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. I'll tell you now, my little secret. People think that Iowa is just nowhere land, but Iowa is beautiful.
Oh yeah.
I joke around and say that it is like the best kept secret, but now I'm going to give away the best kept secret on Instagram Live to a bunch of people. So if you have never thought about going to Iowa, put it into Google, check it out. You'll be very surprised at the views and what you can do there. I don't know. I think Iowa is one of those states that even myself, sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, Iowa's a state in the US. I forget about it. But definitely one to check out there. It's definitely Midwesterny. Um, Tons of things to do there, though, you know, artsy and crafty area. Food too, so much good food. So definitely check that one out if you are an RT looking for your next contract. But those are my five. All five of those have similar vibes in the sense of they're near bigger cities if you want to get to them, but they're removed. So you kind of have the best of both worlds on all of those. So if you have any questions on any of those specifically, I know they'll drop my information, but you're welcome to hit me up on any of those. And other than that, I'll hand it back over to Bree for the schools jobs that we have.
Sounds good. Yeah, and I will say another theme, it sounds like they also all have good food.
Yeah, that's a
So
good point. They did almost all have really good food scenes.
yeah. So yeah, I think we had a comment too. Someone's asking to see like rad tech openings. Currently on assignment in Honolulu and with an April end date. So I would say send a message to Sierra or Sierra can
Yeah.
contact you afterwards. But Honolulu, that might be either an
Drop me your
extension
name and
or
number. Drop me your
yeah,
name and number, and I'll call you when I'm done with this. I can't call you while I'm on. That wouldn't be good.
sounds good. Okay. Hey guys, my name is Breana. So I'm actually an associate brand manager with the Ally team. So I'm more on the marketing side. Sierra is going to be your go-to for all things recruiters and getting you guys right on assignment. But I do get to do a lot of fun stuff like chatting with Sierra and hanging out with you guys today. So I'm going over some schools jobs. Our first one, we have a school psychologist in Hemet, California. Now, I have also never heard of Hemet, but as soon as you look it up, you realize it's really close to pretty much everywhere you want to be in California. It's a beautiful desert area. I know we talked about this a few weeks ago, but it's also one of those areas where you can do a lot of fun stuff in the desert. So riding ATVs, you can do all kinds of stuff, hiking trails. There's also it almost feels like a mirage. There's a beautiful Diamond Valley Lake there. It's also just a perfect area if you want to just explore California. You're only 1 hour from Palm Springs, which I will say I went to Palm Springs for the first time for my birthday in October, and it was gorgeous. There's so much to do. There's so much good food. I had the best charcuterie board of my life there. So, you're only 1 hour from Palm Springs. You're only a 40-minute drive to Temecula wine country. And you're only an hour and a half from San Diego. So you're pretty much, even though you're in the desert, you have a lot of good access to the coast and a lot of really fun areas. So if you're interested, then send us a message. My second position, we have an occupational therapist in a school setting. So this has got a July start date, and we're in Apple Valley, California. So another really cool California area. If you're looking for a location that has a great getaway for adventure, you are also in the desert. It's perfect for the off-roading, the hiking, the stunning desert vistas. It also, which I'm very jealous of right now, I'm currently in North Carolina, and our weather has been all over the place. Apple Valley currently has year-round sunshine. So if you're ready to get rid of the ice and the snow and the rain and all the other crazy stuff, they have really, really great weather year-round. So it's a perfect place for outdoor activities, super mild winter, and you're also pretty close to a lot of cool stuff also. So you're only 30 minutes away from a Deep Creek Hot Springs, an hour from Big Bear Lake, and you're only an hour and a half from LA. So if you're like, okay, the tacos that Sierra was talking about sounds really good, you're not that far. So it's a really cool place to check out. And again, if you have any questions, just send us a message and we will get you set up. Our third location that we have in position is a licensed clinical social worker. And also, I have to say, quick shout out to our social workers. Happy Social Worker Month. It's in the month of March. So this is in Tinley Park, Illinois. So Tinley Park is really close to a lot of cool stuff. So you're not right in the middle of it. You're only 30 minutes outside of Chicago, but it's also live music capital. So you have a ton of world-class concerts. They have the Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. And apparently it's one of the Midwest top music venues. So if you love outdoor music, if you like seeing live music, this might be the place for you. Also, they have a ton of great craft beer and food, really good food. They actually have a ton of just foodie festivals all throughout. So a lot of fun stuff happening. Festivals. They actually also have a rib fest. Sierra, do you like ribs? I can only imagine I'll say if you decide to check this place out and go to their rib fest, like maybe you can just wear like a poncho and just try all the ribs. I don't know. That actually sounds pretty fun.
That does sound a lot of fun.
Yeah. But again, you're also only 30 minutes from Chicago, so you have a lot to do. Our fourth position, our last two positions are going to be speech language pathologists. And I will just give a quick shout out if you are an SLP. We have the SLP Full Disclosure podcast. If you haven't checked it out yet, we have a really amazing host, Michelle. We have episodes that drop bi-weekly. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. So make sure you go check that out. But if you are an SLP and looking for a little getaway in Maryland, La Plata, it's a very beautiful town right outside of DC. You're close to the Potomac River. You're right near the coast. And it's one of those very much like historic towns. They preserved a lot of the architecture. There's a lot of Civil War history and small town charm. You can do a lot of like kayaking. There's nature preserves. And they've got some of the best seafood around. So if you want to check out that area, and then also, like I said, you're really close to DC. So there's a lot to do here. And then our last position is also an SLP. If you are a clinical fellow, this is also open to you. This is in St. Paul, Minnesota. So this is actually one of the oldest cities in Minnesota. There's a lot to do here. There's a ton of brewery and food scenes also. Really into burgers, apparently. Some of the best in the country are there. And there's also some legendary winter carnivals, ice castles, hockey. It's a very cold area. So if you enjoy that, if you're looking for a little winter getaway, this might be the place for you. They have a lot of really cool outdoor activities. and definitely embracing the cold on this one. And you're right there in Minneapolis, so there's a ton of stuff to do there also. So I think we got some good jobs this week. What do you think, Sierra?
We got some really good ones, actually.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'll jump in really quick just into some side note things as to why you should apply. If you're here, you're obviously curious about what we're doing and what we have out there. So you might be interested in knowing more about travel. So with that being the case, obviously, like we said, reach out to me, or you can download our app. It's called AMN Passport. You can create an application there to get connected with the recruiter as well. But number one, obviously, all these different locations we were just talking about, it's a great excuse to travel. Not that you need an excuse, but it just does make it a little bit easier financially, from a burden perspective of being able to travel for work and fun all at once rather than having to save up a bunch of money to travel. You can just do both at the same time. Another thing for us is we do cover license and certification reimbursements. If you need licenses or certifications for the contract you'll be working with us, we can reimburse the cost of those. Non-tax stipends for the area that you would be traveling to is a huge perk of traveling just in general. But with AMN, we do also guarantee full stipends. So there are more details around that. We can talk about it. If you're curious to learn more, you can look in our app for that as well. Full benefits, health insurance, dental insurance, vision insurance, all the things. We do have a 401k with a match program as well. So if you're anything like myself and you'd like to not still be working by the time you're 75, take advantage of that. Tons of perks we have too. We can talk over that if you're looking as well. But discounts for different hotels and rental cars and stuff like that. I just saw there was a comment that came through. Is subacute or acute care opportunities for SLP clinical fellows? I can answer that really quick. The answer is not no, but the answer is also not an easy yes either. Clinical fellows, we tend to see that more in the school setting than anywhere, just because the school setting does have just more people and more support on site than sometimes an acute or a subacute facility will. And ultimately, in your CF, you need somebody that's available pretty much the entire time you're working. Whereas in an acute care facility, you might, run into some times where you're kind of by yourself and you can't really have that as a fellow. So definitely something we can talk more about if you want to reach out. But definitely entertain the idea of working with some kiddos in the school setting for that. 401k match is a great question as well. Hit me up on the side because I refuse to be completely wrong on a live event right now. But I am pretty sure if I give you the basis, I could pull up the document, but I do believe it is up to 25% on the first 6% once you work over 1,000 hours a year with us. But it is a new year, so things do change sometimes on the benefits front when we go into New Year's. So don't hold me to that, and don't tell your recruiter I told you that in case I was wrong. We'll fix that if you call me on the side, and we'll figure that one out. But all really good questions. So thank you for actually interacting with us. I love that. Anyways, the next thing too, lots of support kind of floods into what we were talking about with the clinical fellow world. Your recruiter is always going to be your support system, first and foremost, but we do have a lot of people that are involved in general as well. We have clinical managers on available for us if we have, for instance, I'm not a healthcare professional. So when things happen in the healthcare world that aren't things that make sense to me, I have healthcare professionals that are specialize in all of those things. If there's an issue or you need help with something that's just something that's not really in my wheelhouse, we have support for that, not just for you, but obviously for me as well as your recruiter if we have questions that I don't know the answers to and stuff like that. And other than that, we do, cover all credentialing costs and such. So definitely a lot of perks with that. The other biggest thing that I would absolutely take advantage of, if you are here but you are not ready to travel now, but you might know someone who is, we have this lovely referral bonus program.
Oh yeah.
I think it's the best one out there. So if
I think
you need,
so.
as far as I know, statistically speaking, I believe we have the best referral bonus program. So take a look at this, screenshot it if you want. But 25 up to $2,500 for cath lab tech, IR techs, 2,000 for CT techs, 2,000 for clinical fellows in the school setting, SLPs, and psychologist referrals, and then $1,000 for all other allied medical and school disciplines. There are a few disciplines that are excluded, so if we run into that, I apologize, but most of them are going to fall under those. But other than that, I'll hand it back over to Bree so we can let you guys skedaddle.
Oh yeah, that's a really good referral program. I don't think anyone else is doing that. That's
Not
a
to
quick
that extent,
1,000.
that's for
I
sure.
know. 1K, 2K in your pocket.
Easy
Well,
money.
oh yeah. As far as we actually have a really good promotion going on right now with our Unity Point position. So if you book an assignment with Unity Point, we actually just extended the deadline. I believe it's till the end of March, but we just extended that. So if you book an assignment with Unity Point, you'll receive a free Patagonia fleece. So I mean, refer a friend, get $1,000. Book an assignment, get a free Patagonia fleece. Not too bad. Not too bad. But that is all that we have for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining us to see these jobs and any other jobs that you might be interested in, or any questions that you may have. Send us a message. Sierra's information is also going to be below, so send her a message. Make sure you're following her Instagram account. And you can also download the AMN Passport app that gives you access to all of our jobs all across the country. So thank you again, guys, for joining us, and we will see you every other week for the hot jobs.
Bye.